Hi, today I'm going to do the recap of a horror action movie, Train to Busan. Now just sit back, relax, and enjoy the movie with relaxed recaps. The movie begins with a truck driver passing through a sanitization center. He asks the staff the reason for all of this, and the staff replies that there's been a leak in the biotech company. The truck driver leaves from there, and his phone starts ringing. As he starts to look for his phone with one hand, he accidentally runs over a deer. He thinks this is just a bad day and leaves the dead deer stranded. After he leaves, the deer gets up awkwardly, and its eyes look like that of a zombie. Now the scene changes to our protagonist, Seok-woo, working in his office. He gets an important order from his boss and calls his assistant. He asks the assistant to sell all the related funds, even though there would be serious repercussions. Then, after his office hours, Seok-woo talks to his divorced wife on his phone. His wife asks him to bring their daughter to Busan, as she'll be happier with her mother. But Seok wants to spend time with his daughter, so he cuts the call. Tomorrow is their daughter's birthday, so Seok gets a gift for her before heading home. He's welcomed by his mother and goes straight to meet his daughter, Soo-an. He gives the gift to her, but turns out she received the same gift last year too. Seok feels horrible and says he'll drop her to Busan the next day. The following day, Seok and Soo-an leave for the train. On their way, they see a lot of fire brigades and police cars going somewhere. Seok wonders where they're going, but continues his journey regardless. On the train, there's a baseball team of young students. A young girl, Jim-hee, surprises everyone and says that she's joining them as a cheerleader. She goes and sits next to her crush, Yong-guk. Then, Seok boards the train with Soo-an, and an infected girl jumps on the train at the last minute. As the train starts its journey, Soo-an sees a human attacking another human. Then, the infected girl comes out of the washroom convulsing and falls on the floor. The staff tries to help her and calls her supervisor, but the girl stands back up and attacks her. Meanwhile, Soo-an has gone to the washroom without informing Seok. Now, the infected girl bites the staff and she too turns into a zombie. The two start attacking the baseball team, and chaos breaks out in the entire train. As Seok was looking for his daughter, he witnesses the zombie outbreak. He immediately picks up Soo-an and starts running in the opposite direction. He gets trapped behind a door, but the wife of a guy named Sang-hwa asks him to help them. Sang locks the zombie in the washroom and leaves with his pregnant wife. They lock the zombies in a box, and Sang asks for the lock. Seok says that the zombies aren't smart enough to open it, so they cover the windows with water and newspaper. Then they hear the announcement from the train captain. The train won't stop at the next stop due to the outbreak. Now, Seok receives a call from his mother, who tells him to take care of Soo-an and turns into a zombie over the phone. Then, the passengers learn more about the outbreak through the news. The president asks the public to stay calm and safe in their homes while the military handles the situation. Later, Seok asks Soo-an to sit, but she offers her seat to an old lady. The old lady is with her friend, and they're very impressed with Soo-an. Now, the captain of the train announces that the train will end its journey at Daejeon station and military support will be available to help passengers, so everyone needs to get off the train at the next station. Seok goes to make an important call, and Soo-an becomes friends with Sang and his wife. The wife gives her candy to eat and lets her touch her tummy. Meanwhile, Seok learns from his source that once they get off the train, they will be quarantined. He asks his friend for a favor, and the friend agrees. The friend tells him to come to the East Square instead of the main square where his men will help him. A homeless man overhears Seok's conversation, and the scene ends there. Now the train reaches Daejeon station, but the passengers don't see any sign of military presence. The train stops, but everyone is hesitant to step out. Everybody slowly makes their way to the main square. A selfish man, Yong-suk, asks the captain to take the train to Busan as they will be quarantined at this station. But the captain says they need to check with the military first and leaves from there. All the passengers make their way towards the main square, but Seok goes towards the East Square with his daughter. Soo-an asks her dad to help other people too, but he tells her to only worry about herself, to which Soo-an replies, "This is why mom left you. You only think about yourself." Meanwhile, all the passengers reach the main square and find out that the military and the police have all been infected. The zombies start attacking them, and all of them try to make their way back to the train. Seok was slightly away from Soo-an and a zombie was about to attack her, but Sang comes there and saves her. While the two old friends were running toward the train, they get separated and get on different boxes. Meanwhile, Seok and other men are trying to hold back zombies behind a gate, but the zombies break the glass and come out in the hundreds. All of them manage to get onto the train, but Sang's wife and Soo-an are in box 13, while Seok is in box 9 with Sang and Yong. Sang receives a call from his wife who is asking for help, so they decide to make their way to the zombies. The three work as a team and beat all the zombies in the box. They somehow make their way to the next box, but it's filled with baseball players. Yong hesitates to hurt them as they are his classmates, and Sang and Seok get beat down. Suddenly, the train passes through an underground tunnel and the zombies stop attacking. The zombies seem to have poor vision without light and respond to only sound. They use this to their advantage and make their way to the next box. This time, when the train passes through a tunnel, Seok throws Sang's phone in the other direction and calls him, so the zombies get attracted to the sound coming from the cell phone. They move on silently and make their way to the washroom, where Sang's wife is hidden with others. As the train comes to an open track, Seok, Sang, and Yong hide in the other washroom. Seok checks on the phone and says that they will only have 2 minutes in the next tunnel. Yang texts her friend Jin-hee that they have rescued some people and will be coming there soon. She gives the news to everyone, but the selfish guy Yong-suk says that they should not open the door because they passed through many zombies, so they are likely to be infected. Then, as the train passes through the tunnel, all of them come out of the washroom and climb onto the place where the people keep their bags. They slowly and steadily make their way forward, and Seok throws a bag to distract the zombies. All of them manage to get to the next box, but the homeless man falls between 2 seats. He and Seok run swiftly towards the gate to make it through, but Sang is working hard to keep the gate closed. As Yang tries to open the gate to the next box where Jin-hee and others are, he finds the gate closed. Turns out, Yong-suk had convinced everyone not to open the gate, and they have blocked the gate with clothes. Meanwhile, Sang is struggling to keep the gate closed, and the zombie bites his hand. Despite being bitten, he tries his best to hold the gate, but it starts to shatter. Sang says his final goodbye to his wife and asks Seok to take care of his wife. Seok takes his wife, and Sang tells his wife the name he has selected for the baby, Yoon Soo Yeon. Then, the glass shatters, and Sang gives his life in holding the zombies back. Seok and other men try to bust open the gate, while Sang is still holding all the zombies. Seok and Yong manage to open the gate, but the zombies get close to them and kill the old woman. Her friend watches this from the other box and is horrified by the incident. Now, Yeon-suk and the staff ask Seok and his group to go to the next box, as they might be infected. Seok feels bad for the first time seeing people's selfishness. They make their way to the next cabin and relax. While Yeon-suk and others are trying to cover the gate, the old woman's friend is disgusted by their selfishness. She sees her friend as a zombie on the other side and opens the gate. All the people get devoured by the zombies, and only Seok and his group remain alive on the train. Then, the captain stops the train due to an obstacle on the track. He informs everyone that they can either wait for the rescue team or take another train to Busan. Here, we see that Yeon-suk and one staff member have survived by hiding in the washroom. The captain makes his way to the next train, and Seok and the group follows him. Meanwhile, on the train, Yeon-suk pushes the staff in front of the zombies and uses him as a distraction to run away. Suddenly, a burning train engine collides with another train, and Jin-hee and Yong barely survive. Then, Yeon-suk is being chased by a zombie, so he pushes Jin-hee in front of it, and she gets bitten. Yong holds her in his arms while she turns into a zombie and bites him. Meanwhile, Yeon-suk uses the train captain as bait too and runs towards the train. On the other hand, the homeless man sacrifices himself so others can leave. The pregnant lady, Seok, and Soo-an get on the engine, but thousands of zombies are following them. Seok can leave behind all the zombies, but when he checks the engine room, Yeon-suk is sitting there like a zombie. Looks like Yeon-suk is slightly smarter than a zombie, and he opens the door himself to attack Seok. They get into a brutal fight, but Yeon-suk ultimately bites his hand. Then, Seok ties himself with a chain and pushes Yeon-suk out of the engine. He places the pregnant woman and Soo-an in the engine room and says his final goodbye to his daughter. Soo-an heavily cries as she does not want to leave her father, but Seok insists and leaves the room. He cries at the back of the engine and remembers the time when Soo-an was born. As he starts to turn into a zombie, he jumps off the train and dies. After some time, the engine reaches the Busan station and Soo-an gets off with the pregnant woman. They see dead bodies all around and enter a tunnel. On the other side of the train, there's a military base, and they detect their presence. The soldier asks their superiors what to do, and the superior orders them to shoot the suspect. The soldier was just about to pull the trigger, but Soo-an starts singing a melody in memory of her father. The soldiers immediately realize them as survivors and they run to save them. With that, the movie ends. That was it for today, guys. We hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to Relaxed Recaps for more content like this. Feel free to hit the like button to help us out and leave a comment with your favorite movies. Until next time.